All right, welcome back from the Brackett family. It's time for the discussion segment, and we did promise you that we're going to discuss something very, very interesting. Today's discussion, first of all, is going to be on security agencies and the observance of the rule of law by Nigerian security agencies. We have no other person but a human rights lawyer, activist. We've got Barrister Oswago Ugochukwu in the studios with us. Good morning, Barrister Oswago.
Good morning.
Nice to have you. All right, like the team suggests, security agencies and the observance of the rule of law. In your own fair professional assessment, would you say Nigerian security agencies have so far adhered to the rule of law? We'd like you to be honest, because it's like you're under oath right now, you're a barrister, and that's why I say professionally. Yes. And the
in every society you find yourself that there are rooms for perfection.
Okay.
You need there are rooms for improvement.
All right.
Security agencies they are run by human beings. The laws are there, but they are human beings. And to that extent, one would say, well, if there are lapses here and there, it's because of the fact that these institutions are run by human beings. So to a larger extent, well, fine, they're doing well. One or two lapses, but generally they do observe the rule of law.
So out of 10, let's say out of 10, would you give them 4 over 10, 5 over 10, 3 over 10?
It's not a question of percentage. Probably you could say.
That's because I'm trying to aim at you giving me an honest opinion.
Even if you get a 9 over 10, it's still not there. Even the 1% out of the 10, if you give somebody 9, the 1% could be crucial. It needs to be improved upon. So it's not here or there. The most important thing is the fact that where there are lapses, they should improve upon. You could give them the 9 this year, 9 over 10. Next year, they might come down to 6 because they are run by human beings.
But what if I tell I give them 4 over 10? Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Well, it may not be far from the proper assessment. One could say, well, this is why you are saying you are giving them 4 over 10. Could be that you observe some lapses, which to you they are fundamental lapses. While to some other people, they feel that those lapses are things that could be remedied. And the son will say, okay, instead of, why not give them 8 over 10 instead of 4? But you might say give them 4 over 10 because you feel one or two lapses that people see as not too crucial. To you, they are crucial lapses.
Okay, we've also seen situations whereby international human rights organizations, have accused our military of extrajudicial killing, especially in the fight against Boko Haram, and that has sparked up a whole lot of questions from different quarters. Now, still assessing, the fundamentals, especially in the observance of the rule of law, especially the rule of engagement. Do you think our military have actually fared well, or you want to go alongside the international body that says that our military are actually engaged in extrajudicial massacre?
I don't think there's anything like a massacre. And, those who say there is massacre, they should provide the documentary evidence of where this massacre occurred. You don't just say massacre and that they violate human rights on a high scale. Like I told you before, these institutions are run by human beings. They are not bound to be 100% perfect. You understand? And the fact that there were casualties probably on the side of the civilians when during the course of fighting Boko Haram does not mean that those things were deliberate. You could have casualties.
Okay.
Just like when you see a policeman chasing some criminals on the run, in the process of trying to gun them down, because they have a right to gun you down if you are running away from justice.
Okay.
And probably in the process of shooting, now maybe a stray bullet hits a civilian, an innocent person. That could not be termed to be massacre or a deliberate violation of somebody's right. No.
Okay.
So the Nigerian military, as far as I'm concerned, since this administration came into power, have been observing the rule of law.
All right.
And they have conducted themselves credibly well, and they've observed the basic norms, for engagement in military warfare. So
All right.
I believe that they are doing well, and there's the stories of massacre is not true.
All right, let me
Yes.
take you back to some instances as regards our security forces. The most recent being the way judges were raided, their homes were raided. Then also, I want you to look at Joseph Izu that was killed by the Joint Task Force in Rivers. Even when he tried to identify himself, after identifying himself, he was still killed. Would you say those examples still, went according to the norms, the standards of rule of engagement, where an unarmed person is being gunned down in cold blood? Would you say that is observance of the rule of law?
Well, I read the story about the young man that plays for Shooting Stars.
Yes.
And that, when I say that there was, I see it as, well, from the information I got,
Okay.
the military raided a den of cultists.
Okay.
You understand? And these cultists, they are criminals. And some of them, if you check very well, these are the same people, the same set of people that have been attacking the military and destroying pipelines. These are the same set of people who go about destroying pipelines. So, and when they raided the place, you understand? They never did. Of course, they never knew who was, whether he was a player, Shooting Stars, a footballer. They couldn't have known whether he's a, but the question remains, what was he doing in the cultist den?
Okay.
These are the same set of people who attack oil installations and render the economy, bring down the economy for selfish reasons. I believe the military have the full right to invade any place that is any den that houses saboteurs.
But do you know that the military never said there was an exchange of fire, or that they were armed? And if you had shot someone and he fell to the ground and he produces his ID, and are you still supposed to go ahead to finish him up when he's not armed? Is that not a breach of engagement?
There are two sides to a story.
No, the army never in any statement say that the people were armed. They never said they were shot at. There was no exchange of fire. So would you say that is observance of the rule of law?
Like I said before, there are two sides to a story.
Yeah.
When you say that somebody is not armed, does not mean that there are no arms there. It could be that they were invaded, they took them by surprise. They had the intelligence that probably the arms are not physically close to their arms, and then they went there and invaded them.
But was it right for them to kill them even when you have that advantage, that edge over them?
The matter is still under investigation, because no one can tell whether there was also the resistance from them if somebody resists arrest or tries to be confrontational to the military has the right to defend themselves. Like I said, the matter is still under investigation. But I believe that they went there because they got intelligence that these are saboteurs. These are the people who destroy oil pipeline. These are the people that destroys PACN cable, that power supply cables. People complain that there is no light in the country, and these are the people causing it. People complain there is no gas. These are the people causing it.
Okay.
People complain that there is shortage of the oil, generation of oil by NNPC and the multinational companies. There are shortage of oil production. These are the people that cause all these things.
But
and are you not saying that when they get intelligence that these are the people who are doing this thing, they cannot invade them?
But do you realize that this occurred during the week, in the morning? It's not like it was late in the night that they couldn't even see this said Curtis people. It was in the morning. So if you had shot someone down in the morning, and there were 5 persons involved, 3 of them died. It was so if if it was in the morning and they didn't fire back at you and you were able to shoot them, got them in a very critical condition, wasn't it okay for you to have probably arrested them at that point? Instead of stopping people, they even pushed these same people into the nearby river there. So it was after the military left, the joint task force, that the people went in to bring him out to safety. So didn't it look like they were destined to want to kill those people?
Well, I don't know where that report came from. The one you're just quoting.
It's a report everywhere. The army has not denied the case. They only said
the army had never issued a statement to this effort you're talking about. They only said that they invaded the area. These are cultists, these are saboteurs, and the issue of how the young man was killed, the man that plays for Shooting Star Football Club was killed. Okay. This matter is still under investigation to know whether there was justification for them shooting the young man and the other people that were shot. So if you have to wait for the report. If the report comes out and says, these are the people, same people that they try to arrest them, but they resist. When you resist or you want to confront the military, they have a right to fight back. And because of fighting back, they can shoot.
All right.
So let's wait for the report.
All right.
To know if whether the shooting or the killing of those young men talking about was justified. So because there are two sides to the story.
All right. Let's leave the next question we did as the judges.
Well, on the issue of the judges, I'm a lawyer.
So would you be happy if that happened to you?
So one of them has gone to court already. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if the person that went to court at the instance of one of the judges.
Okay.
But
Olukoya from Lagos State sued the federal government for 50 billion.
Yeah. And I would not want to delve into the rightness or wrongness of the invasion of the homes of the judges by the DSS.
We can look at
but does it amount to
having taken the matter to court? You understand? And the matter is in court, and we cannot be. I can't sit down and begin to dissect what somebody has taken the matter to court, whether on behalf of the judges or not. But the matter has been taken to court. You understand? And if not for that, one would have been able to say, okay, we can give a comment as to the rightness or wrongness of what actually transpired. But let's on the other side of it, according to the DSS, they went on a sting operation, and they got credible intelligence that some of them were corrupt and were not dispensing justice according to law. Left to me personally, I would have felt that this invasion or whatever would have been done by the EFCC.
Okay.
That's my own take about it.
What's the difference?
Because the EFCC is an institution that is charged with the issues of corruption.
Okay. Apart from that, I know you are a lawyer, and we would also like to know what is the position of the Constitution on who is eligible to arrest, who. Does the EFCC have, a constitutional backing, to that effect, or in as much as is a financial, allegedly, financial crime or something, so to speak. Do you think that shouldn't have been done by the DSS? It should be done, maybe by the EFCC and all of that. And what's the Constitution saying about who is eligible to arrest who at what point?
From the facts I got that led me to say, okay, this should have been done probably by the EFCC, is that they were accused of corrupt practices, and by statutorily, there are basically two institutions that are involved in checkmating corrupt practices in Nigeria: the EFCC and the ICPC. Those are the two institutions. Now, the judges are public servants. except for the fact that they have judicial immunity in respect to judgments they are giving or court sittings. That is why I feel that they have judicial immunity. You cannot go to the courtroom and begin to, or you want to invade their, you can't invade them when they're in court.
Okay.
They have judicial immunity.
All right.
But when they're outside the court, they become an ordinary man, ordinary persons just like you and I,
All right.
that walk on the street. You understand? And if, as ordinary persons now who walk on the street outside the courtroom, and there's an allegation against them, they can't be invited by law enforcement agencies, where the allegations falls within the competence of that particular law enforcement agencies. So, of course, the judges can be arrested, but it depends on what is the subject of the offense you're investigating. Do not say that whether it will be, the arrest should be done by the EFCC, whether the arrest should be done by the DSS. So, but like I said before, I would have preferred a situation where, since it's corruption, either the EFCC or ICPC would have been the one to do this sting operation.
Yeah, but where is the place of the Constitution in all of this? The act that established the DSS and the act that established the EFCC, you know, in all of this. Where is the place of the Constitution?
No, the EFCC Act was, if you remember, was set up by the EFCC, and ICP was set up by the former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yeah.
It is not an act that was kind of say unlike commissions or other commissions like Federal Character, MPC, Code of Conduct that are ensconced in the Constitution.
Okay.
They are not actually in the Constitution, but they are creations of the presidency. The president has the power to create institutions that can fight corruption. So I've not seen where the Constitution cannot detail everything as to how people can be arrested. All the Constitution simply says is this, that you have right to fair hearing. You have right to dignity of persons. You have right to be informed of what offense you have committed before you have been picked up. Those are the areas where you come under fundamental right, chapter 4 of the Constitution. That's where the Constitution comes in, as to your rights to enjoy when an agency established by an act, not in the Constitution, comes after you. So that's the area that can regulate those agencies, the chapter 4 of the Constitution.
All right, let's leave that since it's in the court. Let's look at the Buratai case as regards the CCT, the number of houses and all that. For you, what was the right thing that should have been done by the CCT? And because we had lots of stories about it, and the CCT did come out to say he has been cleared. What's the true position?
Yeah, that is not the CCT, the CCB.
The CCB, sorry.
Code of Conduct
Bureau, yes.
Well, like we have, I've always said, initially my firm commenced the issue of a verification of the true situation of things. Where my firm wrote a letter, and we got response from the Code of Conduct Bureau that, look, these stories flying about on the internet and the papers about buying houses as a public officer, this and that, while he's an army, he's a chief of army staff, and they blew the stories. Look, they replied. I said, look, they said, come, this property you're talking about is owned by the wife. That was the reply they sent. It's owned by the wife and declared it as property for the wife. So, when it comes to issues of acquiring property as a public officer, the only institution that deals with that, verification and whatever, is the Code of Conduct Bureau. And if they have written that, look, this property belongs to the wife and all this, and that it was declared.
But your own investigation, because I know you did some investigation, and 2 weeks ago you did have a conference,
yes,
talk to the press. What was discovered precisely?
You mean the response for the Code of Conduct Bureau?
Yeah. And your investigations, and what were your findings?
Yeah, the finding was simply that, which was also corroborated by the recent release, by the press release by the Code of Conduct.
Okay.
Where I think about 17 public officers thereabout that were also found to have been cleared and have nothing to do, they are not found wanting. Not only the Chief of Army Staff. I don't know why people continue to concentrate on the distinguished general. Others were cleared. Others declared, and some others actually have a problem.
Because of the property, the value of the property, and knowing that he's an army general, you want to wonder how did he make that money to own those properties?
No. The value, people make mistake about this, is the value of how much it's owned by. Like I said before, it wasn't acquired by the wife. It's owned by the wife, and the value of it is just a flat, room and parlor. About 48 million, room and parlor.
And you think 48
it was
million
acquired,
room and parlor is small money? Let's be realistic.
The people go on air and they were saying, quoting all sorts of false figures. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The figures are false. Some quote 300 million, some quote $1.5 million. People quote a lot of funny things. And when you say $1.5 million today, we're talking about almost 600 million. What I'm saying that these are false. Okay. That calculate items to ruin the family of the distinguished general.
By who?
Of course, those who are. If you go online, you see what they publish. We know them. They publish a lot of funny things, and they don't have facts about it. They go on there, they mutilate documents and paste online and say this is where he paid. Some funny things that they don't have credible documents to back up what they are saying.
Do you think the CCB actually did justice to that case?
Yes, nobody forced the CCB to send a reply. A simple letter said, please verify this. My friend wrote the letter and said, this is what has been going on online on various newspapers. I quoted some of the papers, and this is what they're saying, that this value of this and that, and it's owned by the Army General. Army General bought this property. When they replied, I said, no. So, excuse me, I said, no, excuse me, please. They're saying, this property belongs to the wife.
So why didn't?
So are you saying that somebody's wife cannot buy a property?
So why didn't the CCB, in their reply, also make, the declaration form of Buratai public?
No, they are not allowed by the Act. By the Constitution does not allow it. All you need to do, if you want to access it, you write to them. You understand? They can also invite you, say, come and look at it. You cannot raise it because the Constitution does not allow it. Okay. They have to amend the Constitution to allow for such things to happen. I prefer one day, maybe you journalists, pressmen, can also put pressure on the National Assembly to make an enactment, because they are waiting for the enactment because in the Constitution that you can only release, make public of after the creation of public officers only when National Assembly has specified the procedure and manner for releasing it to the public. Now, the National Assembly have failed to do that. So, I expect you journalists and press people to put pressure on them.
Why didn't you do it to finish up what you started? And I would like to know what was supposed to be a benefit for actually first writing to the CCB to draw the attention to that.
You mean informing the CCB that
as regards to Buratai's case, what actually prompted you to write to them first of all?
Yeah, because of the unnecessary controversy. I know the Lieutenant Colonel, the Judge Buratai, to be a distinguished officer. I've been following his track record. Okay. And when I saw the story, I felt something is wrong. I think some people are not really happy with the way the man is achieving milestones on the field, battlefield. So I felt these are scintilla of witch hunts. So I felt, okay, let me just do the needful and write into the code of conduct. And as God will have it, they even went further, the code of conduct, to go further and even verified full details about the asset declared of the Chief of General Staff and other public officers. And they said, look, they've gone to the field. Everything is perfect and okay. And they were cleared.
All right, thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to Barrister Osuagu Ugochukwu, a human rights activist who has thrown light as regards security agencies and the observance of the rule of law in Nigeria. All right, that's how we call it a wrap on this segment to go for a quick break. When we return, we'll be talking cancer control and management. We've got Dr. Gabriel